What's up, y'all? You've been asking for a follow-up video to our last Wintersun video where we were asking whether or not Time 2 would be a scam.
And now it's time to figure it out. Stick around and we're going to talk about this album.
So right off the cuff, I want to just say that we are massive Wintersun fans. I have been since the first one, or at least I'm a huge Wintersun fan.
The self-titled is a magnum opus. It is an absolute pinnacle in the genre. But if you ask me, I don't know if Jari can ever get to that point again.
I think he came out the gate swinging so hard that the expectations were high and everything, and that's fine. And if you haven't seen our last video, we go through sort of the whole fiasco history between the release of the debut album all the way up through the Forest Seasons and Time 1 and some questionable business decisions that the band has made throughout time.
We greatly appreciate it.
Hey, Time 2 is finally out.
It's here. It's here. And I mean, there's definitely been like a lot of love for it from the hardcore Wintersun fans. They sold almost 10,000 copies of the Time package, which is a 17-disc version of Time 2, which includes everything you could ever want from Wintersun. I mean, we're talking 17 discs of different masters and mixes and stems and blah blah. I mean, this is for like a hardcore fan, and they sold 10,000 of them, which is
pretty incredible.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think so. As a package in itself, I didn't personally support this because I don't really have a use for consuming all of this content. I'm not interested in the artwork and the high resolution images. Not really my thing. To me, it looks a little strange, unnatural.
Are these 10,000 people really gonna listen to 17 discs worth of Time 2? I mean,
if
maybe,
you are, then yeah,
good for you. It's money well spent, I guess.
And that's I think where Wintersun and Jari needed to justify that $55 price tag, because
it started at 143.
Sure, but still, like that large price needed to come with a lot of special features and things that Jari felt like the fans needed to justify signing up for buying the Time pack. If you're into all of that, and 10,000 people were, great. I think that's awesome.
Thank you guys for your support and love.
But the real question is whether or not $55 is really the price of admission for an album like this. To me, this album suffers greatly by the fact that Jari was a one-man show.
Yep. We just got off the line with somebody who speaks about how a solo act can really put the blinders on somebody. And I think that Jari is one of the best guitarists in metal, like, period. Like, he's an incredible guitar player. He obviously knows how to write good music, given, you know, the history of his albums. But I think where he has let his fans down, the fact that he wanted to do everything, and the production suffers so much on this album.
That's the biggest problem that I have with it, unfortunately. The music is actually pretty astonishing.
It's good. Yeah,
it's
really
written
good.
very well. The melodies are great. The riffs are really cool. The orchestrations are interesting. My problem with it is it's clearly held back by somebody who doesn't have the technical know-how to handle it. Someone in a position that Jari is in didn't seek out a technical person that could deliver the best product.
And I almost feel like he's so close to his music that he's not seeing the flaws in it. In that he would.
I think he sees all the flaws.
Okay.
Which is why it took so long.
Oh, okay.
I think this person who is an amazing musician suffers from the enemy of good is perfect. And I think that's partly what took so long, because the drums were recorded back in 2008.
It sounds like they were.
I mean, but it sounds super on a grid.
Quantized, yeah.
The snare is so bad. It keeps me back personally from enjoying the amazing riffs within. And my biggest issue with a lot of this stuff is the fact that I love Wintersun for the riffs. I always have. I don't love Wintersun for orchestrations. This album has so much orchestrations on it that are separate from the amazing music. We don't need a 3.5 to 4 minute conclusion that's orchestra on songs. It's just unnecessary. And I felt like the fact that this took over a decade to produce and put out, it flopped for me big time.
It's your money. You spend it the way that you want to. If you want to support in any way that you want to with your money, you do it. That's great. That's on you. And that this has shown us that there is kind of this changing culture of how musicians produce music, how musicians distribute music, and how the audience and the fans can support or dissupport, you know, what's happening. At the end of the day, I really feel like this is a mediocre product that has had all the showcasing of, you know, this is going to be like the next big thing, and it's not.
With all this orchestration and all the money that was raised, why wasn't there a real orchestra hired? Like Periphery does that.
I've been working with the band remotely, just via Dropbox, phone calls, email.
Misha programs everything and then hires an orchestra for every Periphery album that they've had orchestra elements on, and it sounds amazing. If there's this much money and effort going into it to make an amazing, like unbelievable product, there shouldn't be these like little tiny corners cut like on a producer, like on the mastering. If you're going to do a record like this, you benefit from employing a team. You need a producer. You need somebody that's going to be challenging you like, hey, are you sure you need, you know, this 5-minute intro? I have issues here with the fact that you get a download for $55.
We will send you a link for your time package downloads.
Because if it goes away, you don't get it back. The link's gone. It's not hosted after a certain amount of time.
It says download it and then back it up. You are responsible for keeping the data on your computer.
This is why I don't like digital. I don't like buying digital things, because if it's gone forever.
Well, but on the other side of that, like Bandcamp, you can always have your stuff readily available. I mean,
it's hosted somewhere.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think Wintersun is now going to pay for a server to host this.
They should.
They should. Should they? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not that hard to put together a home server or whatever. Yeah, right. Yeah. Time 2 was, I would say, a good album that was grossly overhyped because it took far too long to produce and far too long to put together. And it was a huge investment that didn't deliver because ultimately it was all done by one person. You're one person, man. Creativity is something that you should be fostered between a group of people. He's obviously an unbelievable musician who can write crazy stuff, borderline genius stuff, in my opinion. I mean, he's very special, clearly.
Thank you guys for your support and love.
But at the end of the day, when you're getting into music production and things of this caliber where there's so much going on and you need to have the push-pull, and the drum shouldn't be this overly loud and chaotic and super processed. The vocals should not be hard to hear, like basically most of the performance.
And that's kind of what bothers me is I could kind of tell, even though that the mix of the vocals was really low, I could tell Jari was trying new stuff. And I was like, why would you mix it like this and try new stuff? Like nobody's gonna be able to hear the nuances of your I don't know. It's weird.
The production of the first album, to me, is still the best.
Yeah,
100%. It's still the best, and I think it's great that Jari is finally set up with a studio and can make things quicker. That was the goal in the first place. Awesome, but please, if you are taking feedback from somebody who loves your band very much and respects you, please just hire a mixing engineer and a mastering engineer, because your music deserves it. Really, it does, and I think it would go a lot further if you did. And that is unfortunately the one problem with Time 2. And you know what? That's just our opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
Yeah, and they all stink.
So. Yeah. So, whatever. We're just two dudes on the internet who just like metal and want to hear it the way we want to hear it. You hear things the way that you want to hear them too. And we want to hear from you. So thumbs up the video or thumbs down it. Doesn't really matter. It's engagement either way.
We don't care.
Comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Wintersun Time 2.
Go with the gods, Forgemates. It's time to end the video now. It's going to be over.